सबसे पहले जिस टूर्नामेंट की डेक की हम बात करने लगे हैं वो है सेलेबी EX डेक। इसमें हमारे पास 1 सेलेबी है, 2 एग्जैक्टोर्स हैं एंड सिंपली बेसिक फॉर्म है दो उसकी, 1 साइरस, 2 एरिका, 1 जाइंट कैप एंड वी हैव 2 पोकेबॉल्स, 1 कम्युनिकेशन, 2 पोर्शन, 2 प्रोफेसर रिसर्चर्स, Rocky helmet we have 2 and Sabrina. So basically the deck is going to work like that कि आपने अपना एग्जीक्यूटर को जितनी जल्दी एक्टिव स्पॉट पे लेके जा सकते हैं या उससे स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं करें, और पीछे अपनी सेलेबी को EX को आप उसको विद एनर्जी पाइल अप करते रहें एंड इवेंचुअली जब तक आपका एग्जीक्यूटर डेड होता है you will given the 2 points but your celebi have almost 4 to 5 energy attached to them and you can heal these Pokemon through Ericas and giant capes, and you even if you don't have anything you just Sabrina it and the lower energy Pokemon will come after. So it's basically an overall a powerful deck. It's not very creative लेकिन काम चल जाता है टूर्नामेंट में। हाई टॉप 5 डेक्स में से एक ये डेक है। सो लेट्स जंप इनटू आवर नेक्स्ट पोकेमॉन deck. The next deck we have is Darkrai EX and Magazone. So basically we have 2 Darkrai EX, 2 Magneton, 2 Magazone, 2 Magnemites and Genghis-Khan with simple 1 Cyrus, 1 Giant Cape, 2 Leaf, 2 Pokeballs, 1 communication to get those Darkrai or the specific card, the Magazone we are looking for. The next we have 2 Professor Research and 1 Rocky Helmet to attach with them. So it's very straightforward deck. On the bench, Darkrai start doing the damage and you will make your Magazone again in the bench. और तब तक आपका जो गेंगिस खान है वो डैमेज लेता रहेगा and eventually your Darkrai and Magazone will be active and start doing some serious damage. The next deck we have is relatively new. In this deck we have 2 Arceus, 2 Dialga, 2 Shaymins, and we have 1 Cyrus, Dawn, we have Giant Cape, we have Giovanni. That's an interesting one. It's a tournament deck और ये इसने टॉप 4 में आया है डेक बेसिकली, और eventually it will get in the top 1. We have 1 Leaf and 2 Pokeballs, 1 little bit healing, 2 Professor Research, Rocky Helmet, 1 Sabrina and 2 simply just to retreat your Cyrus or Dialga. So basically the deck going to work with Shaman is going to heal your Dialga and you will produce maximum energies as possible through Dialga and give it to your Arceus and your another Dialga and then start doing some serious 100 damage to them. Here we have another Magazone deck. Nothing new about it, but this time it's with the Heatran. Nothing crazy about it. Same, Heatran will get your damage and Magazone will pile up his own energy and going to ready to attack on the bench. Yeah, same, we have 2 Capes, 2 Pokeball, 2 Giant Cape, Rocky Helmet, Sabrina, and it's a really consistent deck. I have played with it and it performed well. लेकिन अगर आप Charizard and something with the bulky Pokemon, it's going to, it's going to resist and it's hard to play against the bulky Pokemons. But it's a fun deck, you guys can try it. This is one of the deck I noticed in the tournament people are playing, so yeah. The next deck we have, it's Palkia decks. In Space Time Smackdown, this deck was S tier, but now it's on the top A tier deck. We have 2 Leaf and nothing crazy, 2 Palkias. This is the interesting one. We have Eevee because of the Vaporeon. We have 2 Vaporeons and 1 Cyrus, Erida, Leaf, Misties. Of course, it's a water deck. We will use Misties. 2 Pokeball, 1 heal, and yeah, 2 Professor Research. Straightforward deck, really fun. If you guys are really into water type Pokemon, this is a deck for you. It's a very simple deck, not very complex with the movements and I have to put this Pokemon on the bench and this that. It's generally very basic. You will start with Eevee basically or Manaphy. These are the basically 2 options you have. So let's jump into our next interesting deck which was used in the tournament. The next deck we have, it's a dumb deck. We have two Pachiri, so one Zapdos, one Cyrus, one Dawn, two Giant Cape, one Mars, just to eliminate your Pokemon from your opponent Pokemon from evolving, and just to give them a hard time to evolve. The next we have two Pokeballs, we have potions, two Professor Research, some standard. We have Rocky Helmet because of the some extra 20 damage, two Sabrinas and X speed. The next we have, it's a very interesting deck. So in this deck we have Leafeon and Glaceon. So basically all the Eevee evolution we have in this deck with two Celebi EX, two Eevees, two Erica just to heal the grass type, and two Giant Cape for the one for Celebi if you are comfortable using with one Celebi, and one for Glaceon, Arida just for an again healing, two Pokeballs to get Eevees, one communication if you are not having something specific Pokemon like Glaceon, or if you're looking for Celebi, you can use that communication there. Two Professor Research just to overall draw some important EXs. One Sabrina, because eventually these all Pokemons are not very energy hungry, so you don't have to wait for long to do some serious damage. The next deck we have is one of my favorite decks basically, and I'm also playing this in the tournament. Oh guys, I love darkness Pokemon. We have two Darkrai and we have two Weavile and their basic forms. The basic Pokemon here we have is we have Farfetch, we have Giovanni, we have Dawn's, one Cyrus, two Pokeballs. We have two Professor Research, Rocky Helmets, and one basic Sabrina. And that's a really consistent deck. If you guys play with it and have all the two copies of Darkrai and Weavile, this deck will really last you for long. And basically it don't have a strong weakness type. Just right now because of the Leafeon, it can create some problem, but I don't think the Darkrai ability is so good, so that extra 20 damage is traded with the Darkrai extra giving damage to the active Pokemon. So it's a really fun deck. Do try it. And I believe that Space and Smackdown have more value than the new Triumphant from Light packs. Now this is a really new deck. Still we are testing this deck, but here we have one Arceus, two Dialga, one Mewtwo, and one of the controversial cards we have, and that is Yanmega. So other than that, that's basic all the lineup with one Cyrus, two Dawns, one Giant Cape, Leaf, two Pokeballs, and we have two Professor Research, one Rocky Helmet for Arceus if the Sabrina, so you can do some damage, and we have also Sabrina and X speed. So this deck is really interesting. With here with the Dialga will work to power up the with the Arceus and Mewtwo. And unfortunately, if you don't start with Dialga, you have Yanmega to start. It's a less energy and high damage Pokemon, really fun, and it's basically a colorless deck. You guys can try and tell me how this deck worked with you. I'm not basically fan of multi-energy decks, but it's a good one, and also used in the tournament and get in the top 8. So I have to mention that deck too. Do we really need to talk about this deck? Here are just two EX Pokemon in the whole deck, and that is Articuno EX, and other are just heavy trainers. We have two Cyrus, two Giant Cave, oh my god, one Giovanni, two Arida, that new card Arida for the healing for the water type, two Mars, so your Pokemon, so your opponent Pokemons can't be evolved easily, and the lack of card is a really big game. One Misty if you are still not happy to power up your second Articuno. We have two Pokeball and more healings, two Professor Research, and two Sabrina. So it's just a crazy deck, but it's unexpectedly consistent deck, and in the top 4 of the tournament. So you guys can try this deck too. It's really fun. I really enjoyed water type generally. So do let me know how this deck work for you guys. This deck have a special place in my heart. The gameplay you guys are watching before was of this deck too. The Darkrai EX and Leafeon EX. And basically you are going to run the darkness type on this deck. For the Darkrai extra 20 damage, and with the Rocky helmet you are doing consistently 40 damage without even using your energy. We have two Eevees, one Cyrus, two Dawn for the energy movement from Darkrai to Leafeon. If you're not able to power up your Leafeon, we have two Leaf. We have one communication, two Pokeballs. Professor researches are also two Rocky Helmet and two Sabrina. And it's a really fun deck. I really enjoy this deck because after 1 week I just got bored with the meta deck. So this really brings some spice to the meta, and I actually enjoy playing battle with this deck. The next deck we have is a Snorlax deck, and I have nothing to say about it. It's relatively very new deck in the meta. It has been played in the tournament and it is in the top 16, but I'm not sure about this colorless deck type. It's a very hungry energy deck. Yes, you can use berry to attack, but still it's not my thing. If you guys are interested to check this deck out, you can. And this is the top 12 decks which has been used in the tournament so far in the Pokemon TCG Pocket world. If you have any question and you want me to make a new deck for you or bring you the new updates, do let me know in the comment section. I would love to reply everyone there. And see you in the next video of Pokemon TCG Pocket. Till then, peace out.